Now, growing up in Baltimore, we had to use separate drinking fountains, separate park benches, and separate toilet facilities. How many of you heard of Colored High? You see, that's where I went to school. That's where my mother went to school, too. Well, one day the teacher said in front of the whole class, "Thurgood, you are disputatious." And she handed me a copy of the United States Constitution and sent me down to the furnace room to memorize some part of it. I mean, it was her special punishment for me. But I got sent to the furnace room so often that by my senior year, I had memorized the whole thing by heart. By now, I knew I wanted to go to law school. The University of Maryland Law School was a 20-minute train ride from my house. And even though we paid taxes in the state of Maryland, they refused to accept my application. And the Plessy decision meant that they didn't have to. I told my mother, someday I'm going to get even. Now, the other choice was here at Howard University. But you know what they called Howard in those days? They called it the dummy retreat. Some days I take the trolley over to the United States Supreme Court building, and I'd climb the steps, and I'd read those words carved in stone, equal justice under law. Professor Houston says that a lawyer who's not a social engineer is a social parasite. I believe that is God's truth. So Charlie Houston started talking about how to take on segregated schools. The University of Maryland does not accept Negro students. We maintain the Princess Anne Academy as a separate institution for the education of Negroes. This was Exhibit A. 1 year later, the Supreme Court agreed to hear our appeal. The case would be called Smith v. Allwright. I called Buster the morning the decision came down, April 3rd, 1944. 8-1, honey, for us. New York City. Charlie Houston offered me a job in the legal department of the NAACP at $200 a month, and I grabbed it. So Buster and I moved to a tiny apartment in Harlem. Charlie had a plan. He said that real political power would not come until Negroes had a right to vote, a vote that meant something. And I thought, there are 1 million Negroes in Texas. If we get 1 million Negroes to vote, we're going to have some fun. So the NAACP sent me down south. And what did I find down there? Well, all sorts of schemes to keep Negroes from voting. There was poll taxes and literacy tests and physical intimidation. The day before I got there, a Louisiana sheriff shot and killed a Negro just for registering to vote. Let me tell you a story. So this took us to a 3-judge court where we would have to prove that segregation did in fact harm our clients. So we got Dr. Kenneth Clark, a New York social psychologist, to come down to Clarendon County with these. Which doll looks most like you? Which doll do you like? Which doll would you most like to play with? Which doll don't you like? Every one of our tests show that an unmistakable preference for the white doll and a rejection of the brown doll. This overwhelmingly suggests that segregation has a detrimental effect on the personality development of Negro children. So, little Harry Briggs Jr. was going to the Supreme Court. Now is the time we submit that this court should make it clear that that is not what the Constitution of the United States stands for.